And now, it's time for the Yacht Club Show. Needed now more than ever. With Killer, Rev D, and Dr. Jim.
Well, welcome back, listeners. We are in our summer studio for the first time.
Wow.
This year.
It's remodeled, too.
Yes, well, it was, it needed a little work. I started a little bit of it last year, but finally got around to finishing it. So I think it's pretty well up to date.
You should see some of the handiwork, Dr.
Oh, the architecture.
Jim. Yeah, it reminds me of
the Romans?
The aqueducts or whatever.
Yeah,
supports for the aqueducts.
That was my model, actually. I did some research into classical history and see how the Romans dealt with these structural pieces. Because they were great builders.
Right, we invent the wheel.
Right.
Go right to the source.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you think about it, they didn't even have math. They had Roman numbers. Have you ever found any possible use for Roman numbers?
How do you do division with Roman numbers?
Yeah, well, Roman, or did they use...
Imagine doing calculus with Roman numbers.
Well, Europe, did they use kilometers, or what are they, the decimals, or what do they use over there? What were they using at the time?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Yeah.
But nice work, Jim. I'm going to take a picture and include it in our video. I'll put it up front so people can see this.
People will see this architectural
the Roman
miracle.
The Roman influence.
How many wonders of the world are there? 7 or 8?
There's 9 now.
There's 9, yeah, okay. And I I feel a lot safer, Killer.
That's
I
right.
do too. We were kind of concerned about the roof
there was a little sag in the roof.
There was, if an elephant got on the roof before, there would potential problems, but now I don't think we have a problem.
No.
I have the whole circus up there now.
I do.
Yeah, we could probably broadcast from the ceiling or the
maybe
roof.
We'll go up on the roof today.
Yeah, there you go.
Like the Beatles, their rooftop concert.
Yeah, the rooftop.
We'll do a rooftop recording
Yeah,
session. I like that. It's a work of art. It really is. Nice job. Anything else new?
I guess golf season started, and my golf game has not improved.
4.
In fact, I think it was getting worse. So I'm trying something new. So I wear progressive lenses, and I think I saw this, that if you wear progressive lenses, it kind of
throw things off, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So I'm going out tomorrow naked, eye naked.
Eye naked. I thought you were going to say you're closing your eyes now and swinging.
Maybe that's next.
That's next. Okay.
I'm going to do an experiment. One with my eyes closed
open.
and one with eyes open without glasses. But tomorrow I'm going to try the eyes open and see how it goes.
See how it goes. Yeah. Well, the listeners will be anxious to hear.
Yeah,
how
I'll give them an update. It was.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
4.
And I guess I've kind of started back to doing a little bit of exercise. The sacrifices we made to provide people with our detailed and thorough analysis of malt beverages.
Yes. I got some good feedback on that.
Yes, it was. I'm sure people appreciate it, but it did contribute to
some weight gain.
Some physical changes that have to be addressed.
That's why Dave was bringing the thimbles. He noticed that,
you two can't pace yourself, like I always say. You just can't take a sip.
Well, does anybody ever drink a sip of beer? How can you make an honest evaluation unless you can slam down 6 of them?
Don't bother.
It's not a point. Okay. There's no point.
All right.
So we compromise.
Well, you'd be a heck of a wine tester then, because they don't they spit it out?
They do spit it out.
Yeah. So what a waste, Dave.
Oh no, that would be.
We might do another round in the future because that's some of the feedback I've heard is. What about Yingling? That's been around forever. Can't get it in Michigan, but I could certainly bring some up from Ohio.
Bootleg some Yingling
I'll bootleg some in.
There you go.
I think we did our listeners a good service. Obviously, people are going to have their craft beer of choice. But if they ever have to rely on the old traditionals, I think we've performed a great public service. So, we'll still have some fun with it. Next time we record, we'll have another taste test. All right. Should we move on to more serious matters?
Absolutely. Are there any serious matters in the world right now?
Indubitably.
Well, say what you want about Trump.
You can't help but say
whether you think he's worthy to be president or not. If you listen to some of the real constitutional lawyers, the legal experts, this is a railroad going on. Like, for example, Andrew McCarthy, who's no Trump fan, trust me. He's a conservative. He's not a Trump fan. He thinks he'll be a hung jury.
I'm going to say there's 3 possible outcomes, and I don't know if he'll get acquitted, but I think there's a real good chance it's going to be a hung jury.
Yeah.
And if they find him guilty, I don't see any way it survives on appeal.
Yes, I agree.
Because all this testimony about Stormy Daniels, it's not even criminal. I mean, it's like, I'd get in trouble if I did something like that, but it's not.
But you wouldn't be in. Yeah,
so why is this? Why is it even testimony?
That's what Andrew McCarthy keeps saying. He says, "I'm still having trouble finding the crime here."
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's falsifying records.
Yeah, that is the crime. Yeah. But I haven't followed it judicially, but I still haven't seen that presented. I've just heard Stormy and Cohen trying to catch Cohen in lies, and so I don't know what. I haven't seen the crime at this point.
Right, and to me, the falsification of records. If you're going to call it a crime, which I think it legally is a crime, then you can't just selectively prosecute it. You need to prosecute every single company that falsifies their business records. And probably 90% of them falsify their business records.
Well, I'm sure we could have gotten called on the carpet for falsifying records, but we didn't know we were falsifying records. You know, when it's just, geez, where do I book this?
Right.
Well,
should I book it this quarter, or should I push it back to next quarter?
Right. Exactly. And
also, that's where the accountants are telling you what the numbers need to look like and telling you how you choose to present the numbers to achieve a desirable
income statement
idea of the company, the most favorable view of the company. So I don't think you can, as I say, I don't think you can selectively choose when to apply the law and call it impartial. If you're just going to apply the law to people you don't like, that to me is unconstitutional.
That's the concern. Look, Alan Dershowitz, right? Democrat, constitutionalist, taught at Harvard for years, well respected. There was a column I saw, opinion piece that he had published. A couple quotes. If the defendant were not Donald Trump and the venue were not Manhattan, this ought to be a slam dunk for the defendant. Indeed, this extraordinarily weak case would never have been bought. He goes, I am not a Trump political supporter. I voted for Joe Biden in the last election. I have an open mind about the coming election. But I want it to be fair. Whoever loses the election should not be able to complain about election interference by the weaponization of the criminal justice system for partisan advantage.
Right.
Alan Dershowitz, Democrat.
Right. Well,
these guys don't like Trump, and they're saying this.
You know, Biden's own Justice Department decided that there's nothing here to prosecute. You could prosecute it as a misdemeanor, but it's the selective application of the law, because if you're going to go through and do this to Trump, you need to do this to every business from Berkshire Hathaway on down to, Disney.
Right.
And it's being done further, as you pointed out, just simply for a political reason.
I mean, that's Banana Republic, isn't it? I mean, I hate to use hyperbole, but this shouldn't happen in the U.S.
Yeah, it sounds like Iran. No, he can't run because, it's national security. He can't run.
Well, you know what? You got Merchant and Bragg, and how do you take them serious after this? I understand they're, in Manhattan, so that
they'll be taken seriously in Manhattan and the state of New York, and they'll have wonderful, sparkling careers in the Democrat Party. They're in that bubble over there, East Coast bubble. They don't have to worry about anything. They can do whatever they want. It's like the 9th District out in the West Coast. They can do whatever they want. They can declare that Hugo Chavez deserves the Medal of Freedom if they want. That doesn't make it palatable or consistent with the way the law is supposed to be applied.
Well, that's why Mr. Wonderful advises that you don't do business in New York City.
Right, and I think that's extreme. You got to do business in New York City. It's the center of a lot of things there. But I understand exactly what he's saying. If you have an option operating out of New York or Florida,
pick Florida.
Yeah, you're going to go to Florida. I get it. What do you think happens?
Well, who's the star witness? Michael Cohen, right?
Yeah.
Is Michael Cohen?
I thought it was Stormy.
No,
you don't think she was?
No, there's 2 stars. Stormy is going to be a star of any trial that she's involved with.
Stormy got a lot of play. She got a lot of play.
Yes. But the guy who was supposed to put the nail in Trump's coffin was Cohen.
It's not the most trustworthy guy.
Well,
right?
He seemed to forgot his hammer. Or he lied about the fact that he had a hammer. The way they're really soft pedaling him now, and I hear them saying, "Well, they don't really need his testimony to nail Trump because what? Because documentation says he falsified records. It wasn't even a question of falsifying the records; it was the intent in falsifying the record. And again, it is a misapplication or a biased application of the law. It's right up there with the Adam Schiff evidence for collusion with Putin.
Yeah, swaying the election, it seems like the Democrats were just as guilty with this whole Russian dossier, which was made up. But these guys aren't being brought to trial.
Oh, that
ain't
going to happen.
Well, the other thing with Bragg's case is he's alluding to this other crime. It's federal. He doesn't have jurisdiction over part of his argument to prosecute Trump.
Right.
And the feds aren't going to go after Trump for this. It's such a sham.
I've heard explanations from people who, are kind of obviously on the, some of the more progressive networks, and they've got a justification, but it's hard for me to understand what it is.
Can't connect the dots, huh?
Well, it doesn't. I'm not sure what they're saying the violation was. It's like it's a federal law, but we can prosecute even though it's not a state law.
They can't.
This is what we'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the basis for what they're doing. So we'll see. I think the whole thing is just to hamstring him so he can't run.
Absolutely. But that's what should concern us. Whether you tend to vote for him or not, toss that aside. Look at what is happening in this country. If the party in power doesn't like you, they can weaponize our justice system, and that really should give us all pause.
I agree with you, but I think, as we've talked before, it doesn't matter anymore. If it's fits your narrative, of your side's narrative, it's good. So if you don't like Trump, it's good to go after him.
Yeah.
If you don't like Biden and his...
it's good to go after Hunter.
It's good to go after Hunter. We've forgotten what's real now. If I can damage you, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all intertwined with show business.
It's entertainment. You're right.
They used to be wringing their hands about the lack of turnout for elections because elections were boring. You had your traditional liberal running it, your traditional Democrat, from anywhere from center left to wingnut, and going against your center right to wingnut in the election, and that would be fairly standard. None of these people seem to be even competent.
No,
I have never voted for Trump, and I am not going to vote for Trump again. So I'm not speaking with any kind of.
Was that Freudian? He's not going to vote for Trump again.
I'm not going to. Again, I'm not going to vote for Trump. Let's put the, what is it? What what kind of part of speech is that?
Pejorative.
Pejorative.
I don't know. With this past participle of
past participle.
The second.
I guess where you put the comma, and we couldn't see
past
the comma.
blue perfect.
There you go. I forgot all that. That wasn't important. It was like parallelograms, and you remember?
Yeah.
Who's ever asked you about one since you got out of school?
No, Jim would. I mean, looking at
Jim,
looking
all
at his
right,
handiwork
fair, okay.
here, he was thinking parallelograms.
You know what? Point well taken, Killer.
Yeah.
I can almost see like a
With
trapezoid
structure here.
if you had
point well taken.
Yeah.
It could be a trapezoid if you drew a base that connected the bottom two sides.
All right.
The Romans thought of parallel.
Who other than Jim has thought of a parallelogram after high school?
But anyway, this could have all been avoided. I was going to wrap it up unless you guys have other stuff to say.
Well, I think this has really benefited Trump. I do believe that.
I agree. People are seeing him being railroaded, and someone who might not have been motivated to vote for him will vote for him just out of principle.
Well, to some degree, he's become a sympathetic figure.
He has.
And whoever thought Trump could become a sympathetic figure?
As soon as someone is the underdog in this country, people start to rally behind them. I don't care who it is.
I think there's going to be a slightly negative impact on Trump simply with the independent and the voter.
Okay, I thought
slightly. I'm going to say initially and slightly.
Okay.
I think the thing I would watch out for is what impact does the Hunter Biden trial have on opinion? Because then the left is going to complain that they're railroading him to get at Biden.
Right.
So it's going to, well, doesn't that just sound like what you guys just did? and then who knows how
will Biden become sympathetic then? Is what you're saying?
Well, what else is going to be
going
to be part of the testimony? It doesn't even have to be part of doesn't have anything to do with the gun possession.
Good point.
And Stormy had nothing to do with the charges other than she was the motivation for the payment, but the other side can do that with Hunter. You can take, unless he wants to plead guilty, and I don't think he does. I think that's why we're having a trial. So if he's not going to plead guilty, so why did you think you needed a gun? Well, I was, I was doing business in some pretty, dangerous areas. Oh, what kind of business were you doing? And anybody with you on this? Or, this is the kind of thing I can see.
Jim could be a prosecuting attorney in this Hunter Biden.
Well, I don't know. It's just, all I'm saying is that may or may not happen, but that's what I'm keeping an eye out for in the coming.
Things can turn on a dime, can't they?
When does that start? June? End of June?
Sometime soon, I think. But what about this debate issue?
Before we get there, before we go into debate, that's another conversation. Back to Cohen. So all could have been avoided if Trump's team, back before they hired Cohen, if they'd just done a little due diligence. Because I've uncovered an interview that Highland Appliance did with Cohen back in the late 70s.
Highland Appliance. Now, those are...
Highland Appliance, they interviewed Cohen.
Their investigative team takes a back seat to no one.
They just stop people in the street and get their thoughts on Highland Appliance, and Cohen didn't even use his real name. He used a fake name, Simon Dimsdale. I mean, right away that should have been a tip-off. This guy's got some credibility issues.
Not only that, he's not very creative in trying to shield his identity.
I don't know, Simon Dimsdale?
Simon Dimsdale sounds as a name you would remember.
Anyway,
in a less than favorable light.
Dug up this interview to get Cohen's thoughts on Highland Appliance, and this is your star witness, gang. So take a listen to this.
I'll be interested to see what he has to say.
Today, thousands of people will shop at Highland Appliance, but who and why? Let's find out. Sir, your name and what do you do?
Simon Dimsdale. I'm an exaggerator.
An exaggerator?
Yeah, I exaggerate more than anybody in the whole universe.
Well, tell us, Mr. Dimsdale, what brings you to the Highland Sound Shop today?
For starters, you got about the lowest prices in the history of the world.
I see. Then Highland's guaranteed low prices are the main reason you're here, right?
The main reason? No, the main reason is because you got about 50 tons of stereo stuff.
Well, we do pride ourselves on having a huge selection of turntables, receivers, tape decks, and speakers, all by the best names in stereo.
I'll bet if you stacked up all the Highland stereo equipment, it would reach the moon.
Well, we're glad you're impressed with the selection at the Highland Sound Shop, sir.
You bet. I'm so impressed I'm going to come back every day for the rest of my life.
Oh, Mr. Dimsdale, that's a ridiculous exaggeration.
Then I'll come back every other day.
Fine.
And I'll bring 1,000,000 friends with me.
This is your star witness.
So we got the debate coming up. I mean, with the Trumpster and Joe. When I heard about it, I just had this picture of, what was that? There was a movie, Grumpy Old Men, or remember?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
that's
with
all
Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Yeah, so that's all I could picture is two. Okay, we're going to debate. All right.
My lord.
Yeah, we're going to debate now. Okay. I don't know if I'll bother to watch.
Oh, come on! That's
I know.
must-watch TV.
What for the?
Nothing.
how
There
about
will
not
be
like
nothing of substance.
No.
discussed.
No, but it's going to be extremely entertaining.
Okay, you're going to watch it for the entertainment factor.
Yeah. I don't expect anything of
I'm
substance to come out of it.
I'm probably with you, Dave. It's going to be too cringeworthy for me to spend time on it
You don't
for the
think you're
both
gonna
of them.
watch it,
I don't
No.
think so.
Oh,
I might record it and see what people think, and then might go back
Oh.
and watch it if it's
I'm going to be glued.
or
I'm gonna be
I can
glued.
selectively watch it after I record it. I don't know. Biden will be
Pumped up on something.
be,
That's what Trump's saying.
vitamins. He'll be taking his
He'll be
vitamins.
taking vitamins.
He wants a drug test.
Well, that's what he's going to bring up every time. Trump is going to bring up drug testing. He's going to bring up
but he can't be too nasty
correct.
to get the. He doesn't want Joe to come off as a sympathetic figure.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. He's got to be nasty in a deferential sort of way. The kind of thing like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Did I interrupt? You can finish.
Finish your thought. Oh, you forgot your thought?
Can I help you with that?" On the other hand, the danger is Trump will sound like the exaggerator here. Mine was the greatest administration in the history of administrations in the universe.
Yeah, steal a page
So
out of Simon Dimsdale's book.
I'm not so, shall we say, sure that Trump is going to be as much in charge as everybody else seems to think he is versus Biden. He won't even be running the country for the next month. He'll just be in school.
Biden.
Biden,
Prepping for this?
yes.
Well, aren't you kind of?
Kamala will be running the country.
Oh,
Ooh.
There we go.
Okay, we're in good hands.
aren't you kind of surprised that Biden wanted these debates? That he brought it up? You're not.
After the fact, I didn't think he would debate him.
I didn't either.
I thought he wouldn't want to give him the credibility. I guess the biggest negative on Biden is, his age and his ability,
His stamina,
his competence, both stamina and mental acuity.
Oh.
So
Shouldn't that be the same for Trump?
But the people are biased towards thinking that Biden comes across as being a little frail.
Yeah.
And also he's always been pretty cavalier with the language. And now at his age, suddenly it's a real liability. It used to be quaint when he was 50. Now it's a negative.
Yeah.
And Trump has always come across as a fairly robust guy, but his mental acuity isn't questionable. His ethical acuity is suspect, and I'm pointing out the criticisms that people have of the two candidates. So the things that they accuse Trump of do not relate to things like stamina and mental acuity. And whether or not having a firm grasp of the truth was not necessarily a liability. And you start looking back at Clinton and how he's regarded today as sort of like, the latest gold standard in presidents.
He does look a hell of a lot better these days, doesn't he? At the time, we didn't think so, but now you look back.
Clinton?
Yeah.
Oh, we used to have what? We looked at a president, we looked at him for three things. How competent were they? How able to communicate were they? And did they have integrity? Suddenly integrity is like, it's almost like a liability.
It is. Well, you can't find a candidate with any, so you just assume they don't have it.
Even if they have it, you assume they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So this intro is more to say with regard to Biden and why he kind of forced the issue is he thinks if he can come across in the debate as he came across at the State of the Union, then he will assuage some of the concerns that people have about both his stamina and his mental sharpness.
Will a fix be in? Do you think that Biden will get the questions ahead of time? I think they got to be careful about something like that, because if that comes out, then that would shoot it. You're assuming that knowing the questions in advance are really that people are really interested in what those answers are going to be. It's simply going to be performance. How do you perform? Oh, that's what
Well,
so he gets the answer.
Hence why you're watching is the entertainment value.
I am.
So,
I want to see both of them stumble. I do, because they're both pathetic.
He's going to answer. He'll answer the question, and then it depends on how Trump throws him off with whatever he's going to say. Doesn't even have to make sense. It's just going to throw him
won't
off.
Make sense.
Or does Biden get coached to throw Trump off, just to give him?
That's right. Well, that's it.
I think that's
exactly
there's
what
going to be a
they'll
lot
do.
of gotcha
I think
stuff.
they'll try and get his goat and make him say something stupid, which he probably doesn't need too much assistance.
I just think there's going to be a lot of coaching up front, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little speaker in his ear.
Oh, wow. You are really
I really think it's going to be
theorist.
Yeah.
But then again, if that gets out, then that's going to be problematic.
Media's covered for him since day one.
Yeah.
See, that's a different. Yeah. Yes, but you're looking for that 3% in the middle. Yeah. You're not looking for AOC saying, "Yeah, Joe won." You're looking for that guy who gets up in the morning and goes out and sells life insurance,
right?
To say Biden won, or Biden assuaged my concerns about his. Yeah. I think it's a smart, if risky, strategy. But I think they had to do it because he's behind.
I was just going to say that. I think that's why he's doing it. Yeah. Because their internal polling is much worse than we've been led to believe.
And I'm going to throw this out. There's still a chance that Rev D's prediction comes true, that at the end of the day it won't be Biden. There's still a chance.
I think that's another thing. I think it will be, that may be another reason why they're having the debate in June. Because it will give them
chance to recover.
If he blows up,
they got some time.
They have some time, and there's another debate that the new candidate can have with Trump. Unless Trump turns around and decides, I'm not going to debate him. But I don't think he can do that.
Once he's already agreed, I would.
Or he looks like, I was willing to debate Joe because I knew I could take him, but I don't think I can beat the other guy. First of all, I think it's 99.999 done deal that it's going to be Biden. But I see that as maybe not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not out of the realm.
No, I agree with you. At this point, it's getting so late in the game that they've kind of thrown their hat in the ring with Biden.
Yep.
But, you're talking about your entertainment factor. Biden blows up in June.
Yep.
How do you not go Harris as the nominee? And that would be a tough. You talk about an entertainment factor at that convention.
Yeah.
Plus, are there going to be the demonstrations at the conventions like '68?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I was thinking about that before we did this show. That a lot of that is going to depending on where the Israeli conflict.
Yeah,
is.
so let's switch gears then. Let's talk about what's going on in the college campuses. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Are the universities handling it correctly? It's a mess.
I think they're becoming more aggressive in handling it because it's not sitting well with
the donors.
Well, the donors, number one, number two, and this is not Vietnam.
I would submit that majority of these the students,
kids.
Well, they're kids. They have no idea what they're really supporting.
They're accusing the Israelis of genocide. What part of eliminating a state from the river to the sea is not genocide.
But that's why I don't think they really understand. It's a complicated situation.
But wait a minute. This is the point. The point is, you are right. These are kids are saying this who don't know what it means. But we have a media coming out of Yale, Columbia, Harvard, with PhDs in political science who don't know what it means, who hear this and cannot say, hey, kids, this is what that means.
Now, have there been some bad things done on both sides? Yes. Okay, I'm not going to exonerate either side on this, but this has been going on for a long time. It doesn't seem to be getting any better.
No.
And I don't know that it'll get any better until you have people that's saying on both sides that, man, enough. Okay, we've got to find a way to fix this, and neither one of us may like it, but
that's a problem. Yeah.
Well,
no one's willing to compromise.
Well, just people dying is it makes no sense.
Switching topics once again, Butcher of Iran. Met his demise in a helicopter. Is that coincidence or?
Yeah,
do you think there might have been some sabotage?
Do you? No, I don't think so.
You don't think?
I don't think so.
Just a coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm going to, let's put it this way. I think it's probably not a move that anybody would take. It was a bit risky, but...
You wouldn't be surprised.
I'll wait for the movie.
Someone stuffed a potato in the exhaust pipe of the helicopter.
No, I just...
I'm going to wait for the movie to come
I'm just going to say that would be too inflammatory.
Unless there were, some people in... Iran who were kind of...
Well, no, that could be somebody in Iran
okay with it.
Doing it.
Because I haven't heard anybody, knee-jerk reaction blaming the Israelis for it.
No, and I think you would have heard that by...
on the one hand, they haven't blamed them. Maybe they'd be very concerned about blaming the Israelis because it would look like that they couldn't even guard their own people in their own country. So that might be a part of their thinking, but it's... Because Iran didn't squawk about Israel, I'm almost inclined to question whether or not there is something there. I don't know. There was one assassination attempt that made me smile, though.
Which one?
That was the guy in Slovakia, the Prime Minister of Slovakia.
You have to remind me. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It was last week.
I missed it. I missed that news cycle. Go ahead.
So he's a partner of Orban in Hungary. So he's very, very right-wing, and he's pro-China and all that. And so one Slovakia citizen took it upon himself to eliminate him.
Oh, a single citizen.
Single citizen. And they described him as a disgruntled poet.
I did see that headline about a disgruntled poet. Don't get poets ticked off at you.
And he didn't have good aim. He shot him 5 times, and the guy is...
He made it. He made it.
Wow.
You can thank
That's
goodness.
An occupation you don't mess with.
Right. Our poets know their place. Here.
Well, who can we besmirch? How about poets? Let's. He's a poet.
How much?
How much poetry is he written?
What kind of voter bloc does he represent?
To be or not to be, that is the question.
So, Rev D, Dave.
Yeah.
Rumor has it you have a bonehead for us.
I do, Killer. I'm going to nominate 3 of our esteemed congresswomen, and that would be Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jasmine Crockett, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Also known as AOC.
AOC, yes. And this goes back to their comments in the hearing last week, where I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene started it.
Yes.
Right? Commented about Ms. Crockett's eyelashes.
Right.
And then AOC jumped into her defense, and then Crockett took it upon herself to talk about MTG's bleach blonde hair or something.
Bleach bottle hair or something.
Yeah, she had comment. And I'm thinking, okay, and this is in a hearing.
This is in a hearing. This is being recorded, right?
Well, it's being recorded.
It's
for posterity.
It's video.
Yeah, I know. No, but this is going to be in the National Archives record book, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And to AOC's credit, she asked to have Marjorie Taylor Greene's comment stricken from the record.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she did ask that. Okay.
Okay.
So maybe she was a peacemaker. Maybe I'm not giving her enough credit.
Yeah, she's having them stricken from the record.
But you think, okay. So I think it was the Hunter Biden, weren't they investigating or where they were going to ask for the records from the DOJ, or they were going to? I think that's what what it was. But okay, so whatever you think of Hunter, is it important to the country to find out what the Bidens did with the money? You can argue that.
So if
okay,
we're selling,
favors. So you've got that. We've got, I think, the war in Ukraine still going on. The last I checked, we still have Israel and Hamas going on.
So have a border crisis.
We've got the border crisis here. I still think the deficit in.
I agree.
Thank goodness we have China under control.
Yeah, yeah. China, we've got all these things, and these three are having a cat fight, basically.
I don't know if we can say that. Can we say that?
Can we say cat fight?
I hope so.
What are they thinking? And it's when I thought there is no hope. There is no hope.
It is a sign of the times, isn't it?
It's
just how absurd things are now.
It's
how
absurd.
Off the rails we are.
And they think they're very justified in all this. And I thought, I'm done. There is.
But Dave, without boneheads, we wouldn't be able to have this.
I guess. Well,
comic relief in this
that's
show.
true, but we're talking about the country now here, Killer.
That's true,
the country.
That's
the country.
True.
Whatever that is.
So that's my bonehead.
Thanks, Dave.
Well, that was kind of it. We haven't had one in a long time. It was worth the wait.
Yeah, that's right. We need a Jen update one of these days, too.
Jen, boy, she's dropped off the face of the earth.
It seems like I've seen
something
on her lately. I could be wrong.
I haven't been looking.
Our Jen. All right, well, time to sign off, I guess. I think we need to whet our listeners' appetite. I think we need our views on artificial intelligence and technology and how we see this
where it's going,
shaping the future, where it's going. Next time.
I like it.
All right.
Delve into the technology.
Yeah.
Get away from this politics nonsense.
We'll set aside politics and take a discriminating view of technology.
Right.
Catch you next time. Music by War on Drugs, as found on the Internet Archives, archive.org.